And there's no question that the people of Ghana have impressed me immensely. You're humble, you're intelligent, and very hospitable. So, you know, from a Ghanaian, I've got to say, you've definitely done enough. Fortunately for me, in two of the other panels earlier, with Dr. Pambo, and then later on with a couple of the others, the key element that they mentioned was, without data, you can't make an informed decision. And that is obviously the key to our whole business. So what I'm going to do today is just take you a little bit of a brief over of who we are as a business, and then how we focus in the pro space from an analysis point of view. So if I take you through our story and the journey here, the roots of Stats Perform goes back to 1981. The founder, Bill James, launched Project Scoresheet, which would change sports forever. He began the data revolution in sports. Basically, that was, I'm not too sure if any of you have seen the movie Moneyball, but it effectively was built off Project Scoresheet. And the data revolution obviously quickly spanned across the globe very quickly, and not just in baseball, but it just then filtered into all the different sports. The quality of data, the depth, the historical, the amount of competitions, and importantly, the accuracy is imperative. Our data is the foundation of everything. So Opta is effectively our hub of everything that we are. There's a gold standard that is set, and many companies in the sports market believe that this is the single source of truth. Back one slide. In 2015, we invested a huge amount of money into the AI space. Artificial intelligence is the way everything is going, and we now have the largest AI team focused in the sports tech arena. The future of sports is in AI. Okay, Stats Perform boasts a portfolio unmatched in the sports industry. As you can see, sorry, can you move to the next one? We cover over 500,000 live matches, more than 40,000 competitions across the globe. And with that comes billions of tracking and event data points. And with those data points, we're able to create our AI Innovation Center, where we have over 300 developers, 50 AI scientists, and lots of models that have been built out of this center. You'll see later in the football metrics that we've created, this has been built out of the fact that we've got all of this volume and we're able to actually make these informed decisions. So this is a slide, the next one please. This is a slide that makes you proud to work for a company. When you have a look at the logos on this slide, you can see that we're a big player with big partners. In the media space, and I think again this leads back to where we were, how do we build teams, how do we make more of clubs and federations? The big factor is fan engagement. And obviously these companies, like in the media space, fan engagement is their key. And as well in the technology space, they need to be able to get out to the fans there and tell them stories that are informative and interesting. So you'll see the betting space, for them, it's a source of truth. You've got to have integrity and trust. Those are the key factors in the betting space. And that's why most of the AI, the top betting companies are using our data. And obviously in the important phase in the football, the teams, leagues and federations, this is an area where there's a lot of players, but one that we've had for many years. And the ability that we now have through our AI scientists, we've developed a lot more new models that we've taken to market, and it's enabled us to be ahead of the game and give the teams and franchises in their leagues, give them the AI superpowers that they need to win their leagues. Thank you, you can move. So this is a simple diagram or pie chart to show you how in the pro space things work. First and foremost, you need to have the event data and the optical tracking, which is data and capturing of that event happening. Then you move into the team analysis, the match analysis, where the teams analyze what's been happening on the pitch. Down on the bottom left-hand corner, you've got the wearables, which is the fitness aspects. We heard the doctors on stage here, how that if you've got a bad pitch and managing your players to keep them out of injury-free, because they're your asset. If your top players are out of commission for a few months, then the team suffers. So by having wearables, you're able to monitor players, their loads, when they need to come off, and when they're recovering back from injuries, when they're ready to go back and play in games. And then there's the recruitment segment, which is obviously vital. As we know, it's still the transfer window is open, and recruitment is obviously a big part of this game. Okay, you can move on. So the slide here is just going to be the two areas that I'll talk on, because I've only got a short period of time. If I'm here for hours on end, I would be able to go through all of it, but we're going to focus on match analysis and on the wearables. Okay. So just to take you through the evolution of data, in the early days, it was just descriptive, and it didn't really give you any context. So it was how many shots on target, how many passes were made, the assists. In today's world, it's a lot more diagnostic, which means it gives meaning to the stats. So we've developed things like playing styles and possession value. We all know how Pep Guardiola plays, that a right back isn't essentially a right back in his team. He's more of a midfielder. And with those playing styles, we're able to interpret that information and use it in the coaching space. But where we're leading to next is very exciting. It's the AI power data that has been sought after many years of data that we've collected. We can now start developing a whole new form of metrics. And those metrics, some of you have already been exposed to it, is expected goal value. But now we've got expected pass, expected completion to the receiver, and expected threat. So those items are vitally important for a coaching staff. They can now start planning better. They've got actual visual data as well as video that is linked to it, that can enable them to make informed decisions on the pitch. So out of those AI models, these are the 8 that we've patented. They're part of the packages that if you work with Opta data and work through our software systems, you're able to start understanding the playing styles of the teams that you play against, as well as your own. The expected goal value of certain strikers and certain players on the pitch. So you can start planning your training in a better format to understand how do you need to play against your opponents. So these are models that have come about over the last couple of years through the investment that we've made with all our AI scientists. Thank you. This just gives you a visual understanding. So in the top quadrant, you've got tracking data, which is the movement of players on the pitch. The bottom one is event data, which we sit and collect of every event that happens. There's about 2,700 events per match, at least. And we collect all of them. This goes into our big machine learning system where we've built these models, and what happens is players and coaches get the insights and get their understanding, and therefore can be more productive on the pitch. Okay, you can move on, thanks. So I'm going to have a talk about Provision, which is our match analysis tool. This is a tool that's very simple to navigate and very easy to use. So it's not daunting for coaching staff and the assistants. I think if we move on, there's a short video that'll give you, if you push play for me, please. There we go.
Reducing risk in the transfer market and optimizing match preparation are two great challenges in professional football. Provision, the award-winning analytical platform developed in partnership with True Media Networks, is revolutionizing the way football clubs analyze the game. With the ability to analyze performance with Opta data and integrated match footage, ProVision provides a foundation for informed decision-making. A proactive, long-term recruitment strategy is a must for professional clubs. Establishing positional profiles sits at the core of this, and at the heart of ProVision is the ability to identify and analyze players that meet specific criteria relevant to recruitment and positional KPIs. Every detail matters. With key graphics and visualizations linked to competition, game state and phases of play, ProVision provides the framework to analyze opponents as well as assess own performance. The integration of advanced metrics provides that additional crucial context to further enhance analysis. ProVision is revolutionizing how clubs analyze performance through intelligent analysis, facilitating informed decisions to enhance match preparation and long-term scouting strategies.
Right. I think you can just click all the way through. There's a couple of words that would come. You can just click all the way through. It'll show up on the screen. Essentially, so you saw a short video clip of this software tool. What it's done is once we've collected all this data, it sits in a beautiful BI tool that allows you to do upcoming analysis of opponents, or even if it's self-assessment of your own team. What we have key features are advanced metrics, video integration, so everything that you are searching for clicks through to video, and it enables you to see exactly the type of data that you're after. We can do custom reports. You're able to create your own features with KPIs, and it's got very interactive, so you can take the visualization and the graphics from this tool, you can take it out and actually put it into presentations should you need to present to the players and the club later. And then it's got an API functionality that pulls through the content into customized reports in the system. I think if you click a few times, it'll, yeah, there you go. Okay, you can carry on. There's a couple more clicks. All right. So there's a lot of preset categories that allows you to quickly identify any standout performers. So if you're looking for certain players in a creativity role, there's different dynamics in there that allow you to identify who the danger men are, who are going to be causing the trouble in the final third of the pitch. So as you can see, there's passes, shots, creativity, set pieces, defense and discipline, and in possession. So if you take set pieces, for example, you're able to tell who the danger man is that you're playing up against. Whenever a corner is taken, you're able to tell if it's an in-swinging corner or an out-swinging corner. Who do they normally go to? Is it a near post or a far post? All of that data and information is in the system, and you can interrogate it and actually look into it and certainly be more prepared for when you're facing your next opponent. All right, I'll move on to wearables. Just want to do a basic overview. You can move on to the next slide. And again, so we've partnered K Sports for over a decade, the mad Italian scientists who developed this system. It's very highly sought after. A number of teams in La Liga, French Liga, Belgian League are all league partners, and they all use these systems. So if I move to the next slide. Just to give you an overview of what the GPS wearables is. This is the physical data that a player outputs in a game. So all of the other information I was talking about is event data that we collect. That's all about the passing and the tackling and the heading, etc. Whereas this is actual physical data of a player. So as you'll see on the left-hand side, you've got a small GPS device that sits in a little vest. It sits in the back of the shirt from a comfort point of view. And we provide two systems. One is K Sport Lite, and the other one is Live. The Live one is one that you can monitor immediately as it's happening. And then the Lite one is one that you would do post-match or post-training. It would be downloadable into the software that we have, which is called Dynamics. which all the information sits in the cloud, so it doesn't take up loads of space on your database. And obviously the interrogation of the data then happens. And again, going back to when the doctors were up here on the stage, having the right people in the right positions, having a data scientist or sports scientist who works through this information can certainly make a lot of valuable, informed decisions. Can we move to the next slide? So this is what our software looks like. It is a product that's very simple to use. It's cloud-based. As I said, the top leagues in Europe have been using this for a number of years. It's a tool that allows both your match analysis as well as your training to combine and live in the same place. So you can then have a look at certain players to see how they're training versus their match output, and you're able to establish what their KPI parameters are. So you know when some of the players have run out of energy with 75 minutes gone into the game, you can then make an informed decision as a coach to say, right, I can see this player's given me everything. I can see by the numbers that he's starting to drop. Let's substitute him, because time is, this is obviously a chance where you can put fresh legs on to make a difference. So it's built to be responsive. It works on normal desktop, or Apple, smartphones, tablets. All of the information is available at a click of a button. And obviously we have some very, very intelligent men that have built all of these things. They are they are sports scientists, and they've certainly very helpful when it comes to training and putting people in place and ready to utilize these systems. All right, so I know I only had 20 minutes. I think we move on. I've got my email address up there, but if there's anyone who wants to know more information, I've tried to keep it as simple as I can, because I know it can get quite deep and a lot of information that requires more probably knowledgeable people in the certain areas. If you require any of that, please don't hesitate to get in touch with me, because I can sit down, even if we start on a Zoom call, we can bring the right people in. So if you require someone who's in the match analysis section, we can get one of our professionals in to have a conversation with you and to try and understand if you want to take this leap into the data world. But from my perspective, just one thing that is vitally important is that once you've got data, you've got an asset, you've got a product that you can actually start monetizing and improving your game. So the players on the pitch improve. You can start utilizing the data in the media space and fan engagement. You can create apps and have widgets on the website that informs fans that aren't watching a game live with live updates and information that can get passed on to them. And from there on, to attract all sponsors and bringing them into an area of a new, a live environment is very exciting. So from that point of view, you've got improvement of players, stronger fan engagement, and a product that allows you to generate more revenue for your club. Okay.